This video will cover the basics of mining and scanning. To get started, we'll mine this asteroid out ahead of us. To mine asteroids, terrain, or to recover cargo containers, you'll need to install a mining tractor beam on your ship. Some ship configurations you select when you create a profile will include a mining tractor beam by default. Others you'll have to install one later on. And then to use the beam for mining, simply fly close to an asteroid and activate the beam until it reaches full strength. You can do that by pressing and holding the default B key or pressing the Alt-B key combination. And once the beam reaches full strength, it will cut into the rock and begin to mine particles. If you don't see smoke and sparks, then you just need to move in closer to the asteroid. Then you can review what you recovered by opening the inventory console and reviewing the cargo bay list. A way to recover particles faster is to move the beam around. This allows the beam to go through more material and recover more particles. And it looks like the beam is just slightly out of range over here on the right side, so I'll move in a little bit closer. Each cargo bay can hold up to 25 units of a particular material. Each unit of a material is formed into a particular shape that is compatible only with its own kind. Your ship's mining system will automatically keep track of that process and form the units where they need to go in compatible cargo bays. And if you have different quantities of a material in different cargo bays, you can consolidate them next time you stop at a station or a city. Next, we'll go over mining with fleet ships. If I open the fleet menu, you can see that I've hired 3 ships to join my fleet, which are listed here on the right side of the menu. And we've traveled as a group to this asteroid field. I'll go ahead and give them the order to mine asteroids, and then they'll move into a nearby asteroid and begin mining. The fleet ships will continue mining until they're able to fill the cargo container. Then they will drop the cargo container behind their location, and a notification will be presented in the message log indicating that it's ready to be picked up. And then at that point, you can go ahead and fly in and tractor beam the cargo container on board. So mining with fleet ships can be a fast way to recover more material. It is more expensive since you have to pay the fleet ships for their time, but it can earn quite a lot of credits, especially if your ship configuration has a lot of cargo bays. That way you can take the cargo back to a station and put it in a hangar, or sell it quickly and come back and pick up more. Next, we'll go over using a target scanner. The target scanner is installed as an equipment item, and it allows you to scan the contents of many of the objects you can target. When it comes to targeting asteroids, the target scanner will provide percentage levels of each material type an asteroid contains. You can use this information to narrow your search and optimize your efficiency if you're looking for a particular material. And if one asteroid doesn't have as much of what you want, then you can switch and target another asteroid and see what it contains. The only requirement beyond targeting is just to be in close enough range for the scanner to pick up details. The target scanner can also be used for planetary terrain, and you can pick up material types on the lower right side of the heads-up display once you fly close enough to planet terrain to scan. As you fly over the terrain, you'll see those material values change, as the quantities of each material type may vary from area to area. Then once you find a spot you want to mine, you can land on the surface by bringing your ship down and hovering just over the terrain, and then use your thruster controls to drop your ship lower while remaining stationary. Then your ship will automatically extend the landing gear, and then thrusters will be able to disengage so you're not unnecessarily burning fuel. Then once you're stationary, you can go ahead and begin mining. You can also mine while flying over terrain at close range. You'll just need to be careful and fly slow enough to avoid collisions. Another option you can use once you've advanced in the game enough to be able to afford it is a terrain walker. The terrain walker is effectively a large exosuit that's useful for mining and recovery. One of its main advantages is that it can mine up to 5 times faster than a ship mining system. The drawback to a terrain walker is they can be very expensive and hard to find, and they also require an equipment hardpoint. But once utilized, they can be an effective way to recover material faster. Another option for mining planetary terrain is a rover. Like the walker, it's also an expensive option, but it has its own advantages. It can move over terrain quite a bit faster than a terrain walker, and it has an overdrive system that can give it short bursts of even faster speed. However, it can't fly like the walker, and it can take longer to change direction. Both platforms can operate submerged for underwater recovery, and they're equal in terms of their mining capabilities. Lastly, we'll go over deploying a sensor station, which is done with the build console. You'll need to have a deploy constructor installed on your ship, and each sensor station requires 5 metal ore units to build. Then to place a sensor station, simply click on its button in the build console here. The sensor station will then link to your navigation console and will display additional contact details on the nav map. The sensor station has a range of 50K in each direction from wherever you deploy it. Its limits are displayed with the green box here. So with a range of 50K, you can deploy a sensor station out to 50K from the center of any sector, and that will cover a scan range out to the very edge of the sector. Contacts detected by the sensor station are displayed with colored dots. Red, yellow, and green dots indicate ships. White dots, which are the ones we're going to focus on, indicate cargo containers, and we can see a white dot here at the very edge of the sensor station's range. So to fly to a contact, we simply need to right-click on that dot. That will set the nav marker to the location, and we can use the jump drive to travel there. The sensor station is precise enough to put us in the general location of the cargo container, but you may have to search with the radar a little bit, depending on your arrival proximity. Then once the container is located, you can simply fly up to it and tractor beam it aboard. Once the container is aboard, we can open the inventory console and see what we got. And this was a pretty high value container. It had a fusion beam cannon worth over 100K. Sometimes the cargo isn't very valuable, but on occasion you get a high value item like this, and it can really make the time and effort put into scanning this way quite profitable. That's all for this tutorial. View the instructions included with the game or online for more details.